What? I know.
Oh shit. Almost forgot to lock my truck. Alright, so I'm about to meet this week's guest, Baruch. So I'm up here meeting him at this comic book store, and he should be expecting us right now. How's it going, man?
Oh, hey. How you doing?
Doing alright, man. What are you doing at the comic book store?
Coming out to pick up Spawn issue 300.
Issue 300, there we go.
Yeah, big comic book fan, so I had to come get more than one copy of an issue.
Alright, so we're gonna head over somewhere so we can sit down and have a conversation and talk about magic. Alright guys, we're here at our local diner. I'm not gonna mention any names. They're on display somewhere. So, we got our guest here. We're gonna talk about a few things, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi there, my name is Baruch. Well, actually, so my real name is Baruch Guerrero, but I go by Baruch because that name is way too difficult. So yeah, I'm a magician local to Vista, just like 40 minutes north of San Diego, and I do magic here and there, and I do gigs anywhere I can. That's basically
He's a working magician.
Semi-pro,
okay,
semi-pro. Because it's not my only form of income.
If you get paid, you're on a professional level.
I'm on A level. I'm on a form of the professional.
More than I am. So, tell us how you got started in magic.
I think me versus a lot of the other magicians you'll meet, I think my story is stupid compared to everyone else's reason for getting into magic. I think the traditional story for everybody is they get a magic kit, or they were as a kid, and then they start playing with it, or someone showed them a magic trick and it changed the rest of their life. For me, I am a huge comic book board game nerd. I was playing a game called Duel Masters, which is discontinued now, no longer possible to find. And I was playing a lot of that, and I started to learn how to cheat. I taught myself how to manipulate cards and load them. It's essentially a form of shuffle stacking.
Yeah.
Cards would be sleeved, so you'd be able to locate when you'd be able to like do a pharaoh shuffle at this from like the angles like this. So I'd be able to see where the cards were, and I'd be able to guesstimate 6 or 7 hands in or turns in. I'd know where my cards were, what I needed to win. My cousin John Ramirez, I don't know if he wants me to drop his name, but he went by Hypochondriast online. He was a big flourisher a few years back. So he used to work with Mayday with Josh Brand. Those two people mean the world to me when it comes to magic, because they were part of my upbringing in the art.
So he's a practical application magician guy. If you're gonna relate it to something, it's kind of like doing a theory of what the magic is, and then you were doing the actual application of what you could do with.
Right, I was doing expert at the card table stuff before.
Before you knew what it was?
No, I was just cheating at card games.
With that question, how long have you been doing magic?
So I've been making money. I've been working semi-professionally for 3 or 4 years now. I'd say closer to 4 years now. Before that, I've been training and studying for about 8 or 9. About 9 or 10 actually. So I've been in the full career of magic, I would say about 13 to 14 years, something like that. Yeah, it never leaves. The second you're bit by the bug, it never leaves.
So this is something I asked some of the other guys. A lot of people get into it when they're young, when you have more time on your hands, and then as you get into adulthood, you have jobs, bills, all kinds of stuff. What motivates you to keep pursuing something like magic as past just a hobby level?
I wish I had a better answer. I think a lot of people want to do magic because it genuinely makes them happy. My answer is I just don't want to throw myself off a bridge, and making other people smile and laugh, to me, really is the only thing that's worth doing in life. For me, spending time with people and making people smile, making people laugh, that's really, I don't know if you've ever been sitting with someone and you guys are just laughing and having a good time. Those are the memories you carry forever. And have you ever listened to someone tell you a story about magic, someone who's not a magician?
Yeah.
Their stories are always how they were shocked, they were awed, but most of all, they were laughing. They were enjoying their time. So for me, like that, sharing time and making people smile, like that's really it. Like that's my motivation to keep going in the art. For any of my art, any of my hobbies, any of my interests, it's making sure somebody is smiling.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually what people do in entertainment is to, not just entertain, but make people happy. And this is kind of it is a form of entertainment, but I think there's something different about the way it's studied, and it is secretive in nature. If you know somebody who's a musician and plays publicly, they're really open about what they're working on and all this stuff, as opposed to like magicians, like I'll show you something else.
I have a theory about that. My theory is the reason magicians aren't as open with the material that they're working on is because we're busy stealing someone else's material. I really think that has something to do with it. And it also comes with we don't want our material stolen.
There's really no copyright protection when it comes to magic.
No,
things.
there is the only thing we have is a community.
Yeah.
It's us going, hey, that line belongs to this.
Yeah, like
this
a level
magician.
of respect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was reading through Steve Spill's the book How to Make Love the Steve Spillway, and in the very, I guess before the tricks are happening, he talks about how it was growing up in the castle era with Di Vernon, and he talks about there was a very tight-knit group of magicians, and the second someone caught wind that you stole someone's routine, out. So
you know what sounds familiar, but I think probably comedy realm.
yeah.
It's probably similar to something like that, I think.
Well, I've been saying for years, I think magicians and comedians, we are cut from the same cloth. I genuinely believe what a comedian does is they have a concept, an idea, and they focus in on that, and they hammer at it and look at it in every different way until it becomes a piece of art that they can express to the world. And what a magician does is we have an idea and a concept, and we hammer away at it until it becomes a piece of art that we share with the world.
That's why you got some of those greats that are combine comedy and magic, and they just put on the best shows ever.
Exactly, but I genuinely believe magic has to be funny in some way.
Well, I think what there is it's an analyzation of reality. Comedians, they look at something and they see the humor in everything because they see it from a different level. I guess I'm not gonna say they're all intelligent, but for the most part, they're pretty quick thinking, they're intelligent, and they have a good concept of what reality is.
Yeah.
Where a magician, it's pretty similar. Like, you have to think about what the reality of something is, what people perceive to be, and then how do you manipulate that?
Exactly. A good magic trick, in my opinion, is set up the same way a very good joke is. There's the beginning, right? There's the setup, and then there's the punchline. Say this 1,000 times, and I will die on this hill that I think magicians should be studying comedians.
They should. Comedy's about timing and the unexpected, so it's kind of the same thing.
Exactly. If it's not very obvious, I'm super opinionated, and I'm willing to be wrong, which is why I yell my opinions out there, because I want someone to correct me.
I'd rather have someone like you that actually talks to the camera. No. You gotta have something to talk about. So, what is your everyday profession aside from magic?
So right now I work at a CNC company. We machine parts for the military, for the medical industry, things like that. That's what I do. My main thing there is I'm an installation and inspections guy. So basically, I can't actually get into what we make. Contracts and
Not
stuff. But
advertising here.
yeah. No, I'm not even going to say the company name. Actually, my father owns it.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with my father. My father and I became friends recently, and he was like, "Hey, you want to come work with me?" I was like, "Yeah." And then now, we're working together. I have to inspect it, make sure it's all up to
Quality assurance kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the military. So
Yeah. So basically,
so
a lot of the
I
stuff
understand a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff you probably played with or
used.
used. I had to actually make sure it was up to the standards.
Up to my. So when I received it, and I was like, "Son of a."
It was mostly my fault.
All right. You were talking about comic books and all that. That's seems like another passion in your life.
Yes, I am super passionate about comic books, board games, film. I'll give everybody watching this, if you're interested in really becoming a very talented magician, I will give you a pro tip. find another hobby, because that's gonna make your art more interesting. And I'm speaking directly to the camera because whoever's watching this, I want you to walk away with that piece of knowledge. That any other hobby you add to your magic makes you more interesting. That's very important for magicians, is because most of us are not interesting. Most of us are dead boring. Most magicians don't broaden their horizon of interests. And for me, I love film. I wanted to be a voice actor. I actually just did, a few weeks ago, I just did a role for a small video game, and all my characters died except one. So I'm not getting called back for the sequel.
Or you could be somebody else.
Maybe. My fault, not the director's fault. It was me. Don't worry. But yeah, so I love comic books. I love, because once again, comics are it's an art form. It's a way to tell a story. And same thing with board games. Board games are an interactive medium, very much like magic, that tell a story. There is a narrative that you, the audience, participate in. When you're watching a magician do a trick, there is a narrative. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there is an end. I'm a super big fan of Batman. I'm a die-hard Batman fan. Like every other year, I read two books: Arkham Asylum, Mysterious House on Serious Earth, and The Dark Knight Returns. Like, if you ever get a chance to read The Dark Knight Returns, to me that is the most inspirational graphic novel that has ever been written. Because in page 1, the book sets up exactly what the book is going to be about. It's not about fighting crime. It's not about Batman fighting Superman, as a lot of people tend to say the book is about. The book is about, are you going to accept your life as you've made it, or are you going to die doing everything you know you could have?
I could see that. I used to tell people, it's mostly the things that you never did that you regret the most.
Yeah.
As opposed to the things you did.
Yeah.
Usually. I don't know about every single case, but from what I can think of and seen, for the most part, it's the opportunities missed, I should have just done that. Have you ever heard that saying? The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is today.
Yeah.
Like, it's just do it. I think the biggest enemy is saying someday. Someday. I'll do that someday. Or when are you gonna do that? Someday. Someday I would like to do this. That means never. Just pick a date, pick something, and just make it a goal and do it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Like, you started this channel, and I have very high expectations for this channel.
It started as maybe a someday in my brain. I was like, no, I want to do this, and started trying to align everything. And there was a lot of battles with my time and family and all that. But whatever you really want to do in life, you will make it work.
Yeah.
There's always a way to do it. There might be a few sacrifices here and there, but realistically, you'll come up with a way, man.
You got to take those sacrifices.
Yeah.
You got to weigh what do you
Nothing
really
that you want to do is easy.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. I understand that you also started a channel. Tell everybody what it is, man.
So I haven't done a magic channel yet. My YouTube channel is Blank Dice. It's basically a channel for me to just kind of put up my ideas about art and board games and comic books and film and stuff like that. It's just me putting my things out there.
I'll put links down to his channel and his Instagram, so if you want to check out his stuff.
Very, very minimal magic there. I would like to do more. It's just really hard to talk about magic to the public without revealing too much.
Yeah. That's why this is a talking thing. I think that we're good for now, but if you have any ideas, any comments, anything, just leave it down, and see you next time.
Can you show me first? Can you show me?
¿Se puede barajearla? ¿Cómo?
¿Cómo se? Está bien. Pero vamos a usar este carta.
¿Por qué?
Vamos a ponerlo. Vas a hacer esto.
Tú hágalo.
Sí. Así, aquí, si quieres. Y vamos a usar más cartas, así. Sí. Más. Y cuando quieres, así. Ah, perfect. I know, it's okay. It always takes a minute. I know. I think that's
No,
good.
it's not. Wow.